With one of the strongest armies in the world, Russia's power consists of professional military personnel. They have excellent levels of special training and the latest strategic weapons. These weapons put Russia at the forefront of cutting-edge military technology, even if many of their technologies have graduated from Soviet-era beginnings. Even now, the arsenal of Russian armed forces has modern, effective combat weapons. Still, the latest developments that will soon or have recently entered service are striking in technical and tactical characteristics. System designed to strike high-value targets on land and at sea, like carrier air groups. The information we have suggests it's a hypersonic missile, but on the low end of the speed range, with the highest announced speed being Mach 9. It's reportedly able to hit targets at a range of 500 to 1,000 kilometers, although tests have been limited so far to distances of 450 kilometers against land or sea targets. It's likely composed of two elements: a solid fuel booster used for the first part of the flight, taking it from the point of launch to a high altitude following a semi-ballistic skip-glide trajectory towards its target. Then, the detachable warhead is used to destroy the target, either with a warhead or kinetic energy. The Zircon is likely an aeroballistic missile, and thus far has only been tested in launches from the Admiral Gorshkov frigate. It's suggested that the rocket will be tested from Yasin M-class nuclear-powered guided missile submarines in the future. Bureau in the late 1980s and adopted for service in the Russian Army in 1995. It's the world's first operational helicopter with its advanced rescue ejection system and is currently Russia's deadliest helicopter. The omission of the tail rotor in the design creates a quantitative advantage, as it can use up to 30% of the power. Meanwhile, the Ka-50's entire transmission presents a comparatively small target for gunfire. The Ka-50 is fitted with an innovative, unique ejection seat for improved pilot survivability, a rare feature for a helicopter. Before the rocket in the seat deploys itself, the rotor blades are blown away by an explosive charge in the rotor disc while the canopy is jettisoned. Intercontinental ballistic missile. This weapon was unveiled in 2016 and can reportedly destroy areas the size of Texas or France. However, the true power of this missile is unclear, as the reports come from state-backed agencies. While it likely has the same power as its namesake, the Satan from the 1970s, it also has the reliability, flexibility, and confidence in its ability to hit its target, making it arguably much more reliable for the modern era. It can carry around 10 tons of payload, or up to 10 heavy or 15 light warheads, and is reportedly equipped with the Mozilla active protection system. This system is designed to negate potential adversaries' first strike advantage and potentially kinetically destroy incoming bombs, cruise missiles, and ICBM warheads at altitudes up to 6 kilometers. Development HGV was resurrected following the U.S. withdrawal from the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty in 2002. The Avangard doesn't follow a ballistic trajectory outside the Earth's atmosphere for most of its flight, instead of spending most of its journey traveling at high speeds in the upper atmosphere. Commentators often emphasize the hypersonic aspect of the Avangard, but it doesn't actually travel as fast as conventional ballistic missiles. The real value and utility of the system is instead coming directly from its ability to maneuver while still in the atmosphere, making it much more likely to evade interception by existing missile defense systems. The first of these two systems were placed on active duty at the end of 2019, and officials have expressed the hope that enough Avangard systems will be produced to fully equip two missile regimes. Described as the best air defense systems currently made, as recently as 2017, and among the most advanced air defense systems available, the S-400 Triumph is a mobile, surface-to-air missile system developed in the 90s. It can coordinate 8 divisions and operates as a command and control center. It has a panoramic radar detection system with a 600-kilometer range and advanced protection against jamming. It controls an incredible 72 launchers with a maximum of 384 missiles, and launches missiles through a gas system in launch tubes into the air before rocket motor ignition. While designed to destroy aircraft, cruise, and ballistic missiles, this anti-aircraft missile system can reportedly also be used against ground targets. As of 2016, Russian anti-aircraft missile troops reportedly received new guided missiles for their systems. All of the missiles are equipped with direct explosion warheads, increasing the probability of complete target destruction. Named Yuri Andropov, these are officially classified as heavy nuclear missile cruisers. Western defense commentators have since resurrected the term battlecruiser as they're the world's largest surface line of battle warship. This is the deadliest Russian ship currently on the water. The Kirov class's primary weapons are 20 P-700 Granite missiles, mounted on the deck and designed to engage with large surface targets. It also has air defense provided by 12 octuple S-300F launchers with 96 missiles and a pair of OSA-MA batteries, with 30 missiles each. Peter Veliky carries some 300 FM missiles and is the only ship in the Russian Navy currently capable of ballistic missile defense. The Kirov ships have significant differences in sensor weapon suites. Kirov came with SSN-14 anti-submarine warfare missiles, while future ships would have 3 K-95 Kinzhal surface-to-air missile systems, with air-to-air compatibility with the R-77 missile and bringing them into the 4th generation. The current model Su-37 features such additions: thrust vectoring nozzles made of titanium and an updated airframe with high proportions of carbon fiber and all-E alloy. Though so far only 2 models of this have been built and one crashed in 2002. Still, with such advancements, this makes the current Su line Model Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation. Commonly known as the Special Operations Forces, are strategic-level special forces under Russian command. They are a highly mobile, well-trained, as a constant combat-prepared Special Operations Force of the Russian Ministry of Defense. They're designed to perform specific tasks and can function both within the country and abroad, no matter the war status. They define special operations as methods and ways of fighting not characteristic of conventional forces. In short, this umbrella is in reconnaissance and sabotage, subversion and sedition, counter-sabotage, counter-terrorism, counterintelligence, guerrilla, counter-guerrilla, and other activities. These highly trained individuals have served as military advisors, training Syrian government troops, seeking and destroying critical enemy objects, high-value target assassinations, disruption behind enemy lines through ambushes, and retaliation strikes against fighting groups. These highly trained individuals undergo training in skydiving, swimming, military diving, mountaineering, storming buildings, maritime operations, reconnaissance, and controls of several naval special operations detachments. The existence of the Poseidon nuclear-armed, unmanned underwater vehicle was unveiled publicly in November of 2015, when broad details became available after photos of the schematics were leaked via photograph. It was initially known as the Oceanic Multipurpose System Status 6 and characterized as a giant, fast, autonomous nuclear-tipped torpedo. It's allegedly a multipurpose UUV that can carry conventional or nuclear warheads, enabling them to engage with various targets, including aircraft groups, coastal fortifications, and infrastructure. It's also powered by a mini nuclear reactor, giving it practically unlimited range. It reportedly can dive to depths up to 1 kilometer, making it safe from existing human-crewed submarines. Built by Ural Konozagavad in Nizhny Tagil, Russia, this third-generation Russian main battle tank became prevalent in 1992. It uses a smoothbore main gun, the 1A45T fire control system, an upgraded engine, and the gunner's thermal sight. It has the standard protective measures, including a blend of steel and composite armor, smoke grenade dischargers, Contact 5 explosive reactive armor, and Shatora infrared, the ATGM jamming system. The influential tank is designed to reduce the probability of detecting infrared, thermal, and radar bands. In addition to passive and reactive protection systems, the T-90 is also fitted with nuclear, biological, and chemical protection equipment, KMT minesweeps, and an automatic fire suppression system, with the potential of EMT-7 electromagnetic countermine systems that can be installed. Corvette built for the Russian Navy were designed by Almaz Central Marine Design Bureau, thought more aptly designated as a frigate due to its size. They feature a steel hull and composite material superstructure with a bulbous bow and 9 watertight subdivisions. They have a combined bridge and command center with space and weight provisions for 8 SSN-25 missiles. Stealth technology was widely used while creating these ships, and 21 patents, and 14 brand new computer programs. The newest physical field reduction solutions were also applied. As a result, the designers considerably reduced the ship's radar signature, thanks to hull architecture and fire-resistant, radar-absorbent fiberglass in the design. This design was developed by the former state-owned Omskroshmash manufacturing plant. The whole Black Eagle project from mid to late 1990s generated a high level of speculation as to if it really exists. 2 different running examples were built in various configurations, and then in 2009, a high-ranking officer denied their very existence. Both instances featured the 2A46M4 125mm smoothbore main gun, a modern fire control system, and a wind sensor and thermal sighting for the gunner. Unlike other Russian auto-loaders, this one had turrets mounted in the rear. It wasn't fully developed enough to feature new composite or laminate armor. Still, the mock-ups had ERA panels and bricks on the front and sides that looked like Contact 5 explosive reactive armor, along with other forms fitted across the front. The hypersonic short-range ballistic missile system was produced and deployed to replace the obsolete OTR-21 Takhna system, which were still in use until recently. Iskander has different conventional warheads, including a cluster munitions warhead, a fuel-air explosive enhanced blast warhead, a high-explosive fragmation warhead, and an earth penetrator for bunker-bursting and EMP device for anti-radar missions. However, the missiles can also carry nuclear warheads, making it a mighty weapon used by the Russian ground forces. The Iskander, with high road mobility, was the second attempt by Russia to replace the Scud missile. While the first attempt was eliminated under the INF Treaty, the United States argued that the 9M278 and the 9M729 cruise missiles in fact do violate the same treaty because their estimated range is well beyond 500 kilometers. It's intended to use conventional warheads for the engagement of point and area targets, which include hostile fire weapons, air and missile defense weapons, fixed and rotary wing aircraft, command posts, communication nodes, critical civilian infrastructure, troops in concentration areas, and is also very capable at striking strongly protected targets like bunkers or aircraft shelters. Next generation Russian main battle tank is based on the Armata Universal Combat Platform. The first series produced next-gen tank. The Russian army planned to acquire 2,300 T-14s between 2015 and 2020. Though production delayed this total to 2025, they were designed over 5 years and featured several incredible, innovative characteristics, including its unmanned turret. A crew of 3 would be seated in an armored capsule in the front of the hull. It uses highly protected communication channels that connect the T-14 group to a command post and high-powered stealth technology to reduce their radar cross-section from both airborne and ground-based detection. A fully unmanned version of the Armata is planned and currently in development, meaning sometime in the future, this powerful machine may not have the limitations of a crew. The class of guided missile cruisers was designed and constructed for the Soviet Navy and is now operated by the Russian Navy Moscow, the lead ship of the class of vessels currently in use by the Russian Navy. It was first used against Ukraine armed forces during the attack on Snake Island, along with the Russian patrol boat Vasily Baikov. It was intended to be a less expensive, conventionally powered alternative to the nuclear-powered Kirov-class battlecruisers. They're all armed with P-100 Vulcan Ashim missiles developed in the 1970s through the 80s, though they have been undergoing upgrades since 2016. 971, as it's called, is a series of nuclear-powered attack submarines deployed by the Soviet Navy in 1986. The 4 classes consisted of the original 7 boats, 6 Project 971Ls and 1 971U, and 1 971M, but are all referred to as Shuka B regardless of class or modification. They incorporate a double hull system composed of an inner pressure hull and an outer light hull. This choice allows for more freedom in the design, resulting in a submarine with more reserve buoyancy than the Western equivalents. There is a distinctive top bulb on the rudder houses, which has the toward sonar array when retracted. They each have a wake detection system and hydrodynamic sensors to help detect temperature changes and salinity. However, as recently as 2012, an Akula was operating for several months in the Gulf of Mexico without detection. They're armed with 4 533mm torpedo tubes, which can then use the Type 53 torpedoes or the RPK missile types, and 4 650mm torpedo tubes that can use Type 65 torpedoes or the RPK-7 missile. The modernized versions, like the Vepr, would also be equipped with the Caliber cruise missiles. Has a claimed range of more than 2,000 kilometers, Mach 10 speed, and an ability to perform evasive maneuvers in every stage of flight. It can carry conventional and nuclear warheads alike and launch from bombers or interceptors alike. It's one of 6 new Russian strategic weapons unveiled by Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, on the 1st of March 2018. The Kinzhal has a high speed that likely gives it far better target penetration characteristics than lighter subsonic cruise missiles like the Tomahawk. It's 3 times as heavy and nearly 3 times as fast, which means the Kinzhal has more than 400 times the on-cruise kinetic energy of the Tomahawk missile. It can accelerate to hypersonic speed within moments from launch, but has the precision to hit both static and mobile targets like aircraft carriers. It was designed to strike US and NATO warships, posing a threat to strategic missile systems in European Russia and destroy NATO missile defense systems and ballistic defense systems. It's believed to be designed to overcome any known or planned US air or missile defense. Also known as Project 956 Saryak, or Buzzard, the Sovremenny class of destroyers are a class of anti-ship and anti-aircraft guided missile destroyers of the Soviet and later Russian Navy. The ships are named after their qualities, so Sovremenny means modern or contemporary. They were designed to complement the Udali class destroyers, fitted for anti-submarine operations instead. 2 of such ships remain in commission, though they have undergone a complete overhaul and modified for current service. This class of destroyers is of guided missile destroyers, primarily tasked with anti-ship warfare, and provided sea and air defense for warships and escorted transport. Towering far above a forest near Moscow is a strange configuration of tubes used as a shockingly powerful lightning machine. This is the Marx generator, which is often confused for a Tesla coil, and its creation was aiming to have a reliable, powerful machine for testing lightning insulation. At peak power, it could discharge for more than 100 microseconds onto a platform at the same level as all generating facilities in the country. Now it's mostly abandoned, but on occasion is turned on still, as recently as 2014. It's a hotspot for urban explorers who venture onto the premises despite the area being fenced off and guarded heavily. While it might be inactive now, the technology behind this, which is still in play today, would be an incredible force to be reckoned with. An at-will lightning generator is the equivalent of science fiction, yet they had it down